Meet stdin redirection with the less than symbol. It is the shell's way of handing a file directly to a program, so you never have to type a thing. Every program inherits 3 standard streams from the operating system. stdin file descriptor 0 points to the keyboard. stout file descriptor 1 points to the screen. So when you run a command with no arguments, it simply waits for you to type, because its input is wired straight to your fingers on the keys. The less than symbol is the shell's redirect operator. Write command less than file name, and the shell opens that file, swaps it onto FD0, and launches the program. The program never sees a keyboard. It only sees its input stream, and that stream is now the file. Less than is strictly input redirection. The arrow points from the file into the program, not the other way. Greater than sends output to a file. 2 greater than's append output. 2 greater than with the 2 redirects errors. Less than is the only one that feeds stdin. Here is a real example. wc space -l less than file.txt counts the lines in file.txt. Without the less than, wc would wait forever for you to type. With the less than, the shell pipes file.txt straight into wc stdin, and wc prints the line count immediately. The rule is simple. Whenever a command expects input from standard input, and you have the data sitting in a file, use the less than symbol to feed that file directly. It is faster, scriptable, and it turns interactive programs into batch tools. Meet 3 of the shell's most powerful tricks. Pipes that stream data between commands, grouping constructs that sequence work in either the current shell or a child shell, and process substitution that turns command output into a real file name. Pipes, written as a single vertical bar, connect the stout of one command to the stdin of the next, so data flows left to right without ever being written to disk. Think of it as a conveyor belt between machines. Each command reads from the previous output, and writes its own result for the next. Braces and parentheses both group multiple commands together, but they run in completely different environments. Curly braces CMD1, CMD2 execute in the current shell, so variables and directory changes persist afterward, while parentheses CMD1, CMD2 launch a subshell, isolating every side effect inside a child process. Process substitution, written as command, runs the command and hands your program a file name like /dev/fd/63 that points to the command's output. This is the escape hatch when a program insists on a file path, but you only have a stream, for example when you want to diff 2 generated listings without writing temporary files. So here is the cheat sheet. Use pipes when you want to stream data between commands. Use grouping with braces or subshells when you need to sequence commands in the same or a separate shell environment. And reach for process substitution whenever a program demands a file name, but all you have is a stream of data. Before diving into commands, let's anchor the mental model. Every Linux process has 3 streams. stdin is where input arrives, stout is where output goes, and stare is where errors go. The operator rewires stdin to come from a file instead of the keyboard, while rewires one command stout into the next command stdin. We start by clearing the screen with the clear command. It wipes the visible scrollback buffer and drops the prompt back to the top, giving us a clean canvas for the demo. Now we redirect a file into wc using the operator. The shell opens /etc/password and feeds its contents directly into wc stdin, so wc counts the lines without ever reading from the keyboard. The single integer returned is the total number of user account entries on the system. Next we pipe /etc/password into grep to filter for any line containing the word root. The operator sends the file into grep stdin, and grep prints only matching lines. This is the classic pattern of feeding a file into a filter without needing a second argument. Now we combine file redirection with a pipe. Sort, you read /etc/password. Actually /etc/services, sorts it alphabetically and removes duplicates. Then the pipe sends that sorted, deduplicated stream straight into head -5, which keeps only the first 5 lines. This is a 2-stage pipeline, file into command, then command into command. The T command is the splitter of the shell world. Echo hello produces one word on stout, and T copies that stream into the file /tmp/out.txt, while also passing it through to the terminal. You can see hello printed once on screen because TTs the output into 2 directions at once. To prove the file was actually written, we cat it back. Cat /tmp/out.txt reads the file, and prints its contents to stout. There it is, hello, persisted to disk and recovered in a separate command. That completes the loop. stdin redirection, pipes, and T all working together as the core plumbing of the Unix philosophy.